first question that I have is when should you get an accountant? David, you want to take that one?
Sure.
You want to come to the mic.
Before you actually get into business, you can see for these choice of entities, that's the time that you need to make that selection. So before you start is the best time. The second best time is as soon after you've started, so that if there needs to be a change in your business entity, it can be done at a minimal amount of interruption to what you've currently got started.
Debra, any suggestions?
My suggestion is the instant you start thinking you're in start a business, you build your team. CPA, banker, attorney, you get your team in place. Know that when you talk to each one of us, I'm talking to you tax-wise, which may have a different slant than what your banker tells you, may have a different slant than what your attorney tells you, but you need to have your team in place and interview people. Don't just take somebody. You know, interview them, see if they understand your language, if you understand them. So you start off with it.
Okay, the next one is accounting system. I know there are some people that keep a brown paper sack under their desk, and as an invoice comes in, they pay it, stick it in the brown bag, et cetera, et cetera. What would y'all recommend as maybe a good, simple accounting system for a small business? You want to go first?
Regarding the accounting system, it depends. In our case, we're pretty flexible and we work with our clients on what meets their needs. The paper sack bid at the end of the year is not the best route, okay? Now, a lot of people, what we like to do is say, you do what you do best, let us do what we do best, and, you know, do the accounting. We try to get you set up on something that you can manage, something you can handle. If we give you a real complex, or we say, gee, use QuickBooks, and you're not comfortable with the computer, we're defeating ourselves. So we like to work with our clients on what works best, and see on our bookkeeping accounts, we look at them at least quarterly and try to keep their stuff up so that we have some idea where they're at as we go through.
And I agree with Debra on that. I guess you can look at CPA as standing also for cleaning, pressing, and alterations. So if you like to bring it in a brown bag, then either one of us has seen that, deal with that. But that's probably not the best way to spend your money. But both of us understand that what's comfortable for you really ought to be what you're doing. So if you like to keep it on a big chief notebook pad, that works too. There are more sophisticated ways, but if you won't do it and you're uncomfortable doing it, then it doesn't make any sense for you to try to do it any particular way.
Okay. What about questions from the audience? We have any out there? Oh, come on.
Everybody wants to do
Yeah,
taxes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I've been in my different professional lives, both a C Corp and a sole proprietorship, and I'm a sole proprietorship now. At what point in my business would I give serious thought to converting to an S Corp or a C Corp? Where would it make sense in making that conversion?
Okay, let me repeat the question so everyone can hear it. And that is, as Nick commented, right now he is a sole proprietor, and he would like to find out when would be the time that, when he should consider converting either to an S corporation or a C corporation.
There's no clear-cut answer, obviously, right? You need to look at, I guess we don't have any attorneys that I've heard this morning, but is a legal liability important to you? And if it is, then you need some other entity than the sole proprietorship, which would be the LLC, the S Corp, or the C Corp. But each of those entities have different tax efficiencies. So similar to what Debra was saying, you need to sit down and talk to your tax professional about it and determine whether medical expenses are important to you or not, whether there are ways to legitimately change the amount of self-employment earnings that you have. So there's a discussion that needs to go on with the financial information that you've got, and you need to project where you're going to be 3, 4, 5 years in the future as well.
The standard CPA answer to all tax questions and all accounting questions is, it depends. And that's exactly what David was saying, is it depends on it. There's no magic number that says when you hit here, you should change to a C Corp, S Corp, whatever. It really depends upon the risk involved. It depends on what your goals are. You may work just fine as a sole proprietor, and I've got some chiropractor clients who make really, really good money. They're still a sole proprietor, you know, even though I would think that's kind of a high-risk area. Works for them. They don't want the hassle with the being incorporated. They don't want to have to worry about that. They understand how a sole proprietor works, and it's comfortable for them. So it really depends upon your goals and what you're after. It also depends upon getting loans. If you're going to be expanding and you need money, that might have an impact to how you're organized.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
On the personal side, you get used to certain tax advantages each year or different structure. With the new administration, all about change, have y'all seen anything on the horizon that might be good for us to know that we might want to talk with our tax advisor on?
Okay, if I could paraphrase that, with the all of the change that we're seeing coming out of Washington at this time, are you seeing anything that is positive, or that the businesses, and on a personal basis, you need to get with your tax preparer sooner than later? Debra, you want to go first?
Again, depends. I have a book that I just got a couple of weeks ago. It's that thick, and it summarizes all the changes that are going on right now. That's just summaries. Probably there's something in there that may impact you as far as your tax, situation is concerned. They are looking more at S Corps and they're looking at the salaries you're being paid. So if you're structured as an S Corp and you're trying to flow some of that through your income through as not, self-employment tax, that is one of the areas that I would definitely be looking at right now to see how you're structured, how it's working. But again, there's a lot of things that are in there that are being changed. So it's kind of hard without knowing your specific situations. Everybody here is a little different.
At this point, the only thing that's really passed with, it was super thick, was in February, but we haven't seen anything yet really in terms of what this Congress is likely to do. But they continually provide trial balloons with different ideas on how to do taxing. They're probably not going to settle on much of anything until they see where this health care comes out and what it's going to cost to deal with that, and then figure out where they're going to get the money. So it's never, as Debra has told you, it's never too early to start thinking about those things. But I think the major changes we don't know about yet. And they're just not, because they don't know how much money they've got to raise.